Farhan, who says a few words with us on this busy afternoon. We welcome him. Farhan, nice to talk. Christopher Russo, how are you today, pal? Okay?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. Good to have you with us here. Listen, what a year. How do you analyze 2021 based on losing a classic Game 5 to the Dodgers? You're 107. I know disappointed out of the divisional round. What are you going to do, right? I mean, that game could have gone either way in that fifth game. So you take it as having a very, very successful season in San Francisco. Let me get your thoughts on last year. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you turned the page because it's a new season. There were a lot of great moments in 2021, but we obviously didn't get as far as we wanted to go. So it was a great division series. We came up short. And, other teams that I've been around, that you can learn from an experience of coming up short in the playoffs and get a step or two further the next time. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking to go deeper into the postseason this year and continue the regular season success we had.
All right. Now, last year, everything broke right. Farhan, you hit 19 or so pinch hit home runs, which was a major league record. That's not going to happen again. You had everybody do unbelievable things with platooning and guys that we never heard of have wonderful years. It just fit perfectly, one of those magical runs. You can't expect, and you lose now Posey and you have Gausman, so you can't expect that same magic this year. How do you compensate? What's your take on that? Let me hear.
Well, we're going to need contributions from some of our younger guys. I mean, you see our lineup right there. Joey Bart's going to be huge for us. Steven Duggar, who had great moments, is going to be huge for us. Thairo Estrada, who hit a home run in our spring training game yesterday, is a guy we're looking for. So, we had a great season last year. One of the things we're going to need is some of the younger guys who got some opportunity to contribute to be even bigger parts of what we do in 2022.
All right, you feel confident that they can do that. All right, how about not having Posey as veteran leadership? No Chris Bryant, he was there the last couple months of the year. Those are big holes to fill. Now, maybe you get healthy with Belt and he plays more. He's always hurt, but maybe he plays more. How do you compensate for losing those two guys from a veteran standpoint? What can you tell me there?
Yeah, you're right. Health is going to be a big thing. I think as far as Buster goes, the offense is really tough to replace. At the catching spot, we've got a young guy in Joey Bart. We've got Kurt Casale, who's a veteran who can help with that transition. So that's going to be big. And Brandon Belt's been as good a hitter as there's been in baseball the last couple of years. So for him to be healthy, I mean, like many teams in baseball, like many people that are trying to contend, so much of it comes down to health. And his health in particular is huge for us.
Yeah, you have to have him. All right, rotation, you lose Gausman, you bring back Wood, DeSclafani, and signed Rondon. We know how good Logan Webb is. Last year you had second or third best ERA in the league from a starting standpoint, and almost number one with your bullpen. That's hard to replicate as well. Let's start with the starters, Farhan. What do you see there?
Well, we're really excited about Carlos Rodon. He pitched his first Cactus League game yesterday, was up to 98 facing his old team. So it had a little bit more of a storyline than the typical spring training game. But, Logan's going to have to step up. We really like our 3 to 5 guys in DeSclafani, Wood, and bringing Alex Cobb in, who had a great year for the Angels last year. And we do think we've got more rotation depth. We brought in Jacob Junis from the Royals, who we think can really help us this year. Matt Boyd, who we think is going to be ready at midseason. And so, we're not necessarily going to have 5 guys making 32 to 34 starts, but we like the depth behind those guys as well.
Interesting. All right, fair. The intangibles. Sort of back to the original question. That's so important with the Giants last year. Sometimes regular season teams and teams that had the year that you did can do it when you look at the team, you don't think they're that good, and you realize in baseball, look at this. I mean, it's happened with the Giants in the past. Those intangibles are hard to Again, I keep on going back to replication from a year ago. It's hard to grow that 2 years in a row there, Farhan. How about the intangibles that made the Giants so successful last season?
Yeah, I think it comes down to belief, Chris. I mean, you think about, we hear the rhetoric out there, the narrative about the 2021 Giants, that it's unsustainable, that there's regression, that, guys aren't going to be able to back it up this year. And look, 107 wins is tough to back up. But when we have guys step up and have big seasons like Darren Ruff, like Lamont Wade, internally, we're going to believe in those guys. We saw them day in, day out, and they have every opportunity to back it up and show it was for real. And we believe it was. So, we understand the narrative and the talk out there, and we're really excited for these guys to have the opportunity to back up what they did last year, and we really believe in them.
The DH, how does it help the Giants? You got a lot of guys, so it helps the Giants. You can move around with that DH. Take on that with the new rule in the league. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting double-edged sword for us because on the one hand, we have one fewer bench spot. You referred to how much of a weapon pinch hitting was for us last year. So, Gabe Kapler's, going to have one less tool in the tool bag, when it comes to late in games. But I do still think you're going to see us matching up. But guys like Darren Ruff, like Wilmer Flores, Jock Peterson, a new addition, for those guys to be able to rotate through the DH spot, we think we have the depth in our lineup where it's just going to be another threat in our order. And so we view it as a real advantage to have that DH spot overall.
Do you feel your closer, you got to have a short memory, and, listen, he's a young kid. Nobody's going to kill him in the ninth inning of Game 5. We get that. But, sometimes it takes guys, you got to have a thick skin, and you got to bounce back. You feel confident that he's going to let that roll off his back, the Dodger ninth inning run that they scored in Game 5. You think he'll bounce back from that?
Well, no question. Actually, it's interesting. The sign of, a great young player who's going to be in a big role in that is that, everybody else, myself included, is more nervous for him than he is for himself. So, he really showed the calm nerves he had, not just in the playoffs, but some of the late season games against the Dodgers. And after that Game 5, just being in the clubhouse and around the guys, and Camilo in particular, he just had the perfect mindset. He was obviously really disappointed and upset, but not to the point of being inconsolable where you thought it would carry over. So really, really excited for him. He had his first Cactus League game yesterday, punched out a couple of guys, and he does have the ability to carry the torch as a shutdown closer for us. So really excited for this season, what he does.
Excellent job, Farhan. Thank you for so much time. You keep up the good work. We'll check in here now and then. Get off to a good start. Appreciate you coming on here today.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, Chris.